Feel the weight of money in your hand, and notice the quiet current of energy running beneath your thoughts. Right now, your next words can open a path to overflowing abundance. There is a powerful connection between what you say in private and what you experience in the world outside. The shift begins in moments exactly like this, moments when you realize every dollar responds to the language held in your heart. Listen closely, because you're about to learn a truth that turns ordinary self-talk into extraordinary results. Your inner conversation writes the story of every opportunity, every blessing, and every limitation. Most people miss this hidden doorway, repeating old patterns until they forget that they are the true authors of their financial reality. Hold on, because in this video you'll discover the phrase that dissolves long-standing barriers and invites wealth with intention and grace. Each sentence will guide you deeper into a new understanding, one where your spoken word and your highest vision finally move as one. Stay until the end, and witness how the deepest transformation starts, not with effort, but with a simple shift in how you speak to yourself. The key to abundance isn't somewhere far away. It's alive in your awareness right now, waiting for you to claim it. Thought is the beginning of everything seen and unseen. Every word spoken vibrates through the silent halls of the mind, quietly writing the story of experience. There is power within the simplest statement, a force that calls into form unseen possibilities. When a person says, "I am abundant," the world listens and begins to conspire in that direction. Each syllable, released with intention, signals the universe to flow or withhold, to open channels or close doors. The core of spiritual self-talk for wealth lies in understanding that the tongue is a creative tool. Self-talk is not idle chatter. It is the energy that shapes the days and nights of life. Those who repeat, "I never prosper," plant seeds of limitation deep in the soil of their being. In contrast, those who speak of growth, opportunity, and overflowing blessings prepare their minds for a lane where prosperity may enter easily. Awareness of speech is the first gate to financial reality. Every spoken word is a blueprint drawn on the invisible. There are no idle statements in the metaphysical realm. Speak of poverty, and doors quietly close. Speak of abundance, and invisible messengers open the way for money, manifestation affirmations to take root. The outcome is not instantaneous, but the process is relentless, a slow, steady weaving until belief and experience match harmoniously. The journey toward a positive money script begins with self-observation. Catch the words as they leave your lips and examine their meaning. Adjust them toward affirmation, hope, and confidence. Let every phrase become a key that unlocks the heart of universal supply. Through gentle self-talk, reality itself reconfigures, and the experience of wealth flow transforms from a distant ideal to a living truth. There is a sacred law operating beneath every spoken word, a law that weaves energy into substance, turning intention into tangible results. Words act as commands issued to the subconscious mind, which regards them as marching orders. When that inner voice rings with certainty, spiritual self-talk for wealth transcends hope and becomes the architect of reality. Energetic vibrations move outward, aligning events, people, and resources with the frequency of the speech. To live by this secret law means to select words with care. Idle or negative statements do not simply disappear. They echo in the chambers of mind and circumstance. Speaking with clarity and faith, riches flow to me easily and continually, sets patterns into motion. This is not wishful thinking, but a dynamic process where language and spiritual law move in harmony. Outward circumstances may resist, but the law continues to work within, preparing the way for prosperity. Money manifestation affirmations gain their strength from repetition and sincerity. When spoken from the heart, these words become a direct channel to the subconscious, bypassing resistance and doubt. Each time "I am a magnet for abundance" is repeated, a deeper imprint is made, and wealth flow's spiritual law becomes less theory, more experience. The process is gentle yet powerful, a quiet revolution inside the soul. This approach is unique among metaphysical prosperity secrets. The spoken word operates beyond surface appearance, shaping the tides of financial reality over time. Wealth does not respond to fear or scarcity, but to certainty and a clear vision. Words imbued with conviction and positivity slowly close the gap between longing and fulfillment, making the once invisible supply visible in daily life. Self-talk is a silent teacher, training the mind in either despair or hope. Many carry scripts learned from childhood, family, or society, repeating phrases like "opportunities never come to me" or "I never have enough." These statements become invisible fences, keeping new channels of opportunity out of reach. Wealth flow is hindered when inner dialogue remains filled with limitation and fear. To step into a new reality, begin by replacing these scripts. Pause and listen to the words that arise in quiet moments. When a limiting belief surfaces, replace it with a more powerful money manifestation affirmation, such as "opportunities seek me out" or "abundance is my daily companion." Each substitution plants seeds of change, gradually transforming the subconscious garden. The voice in the mind holds immense creative authority. By gently rewriting the narrative, old stories of struggle give way to tales of increase and achievement. Speak always of what is desired, not what is feared. The act of positive money scriptwriting is not a denial of present circumstances, but an act of spiritual authorship, choosing what kind of story to live out. Over time, the seeds of self-affirmation grow into strong roots of confidence. Greater prosperity may arrive as new ideas, unexpected gifts, or inspired opportunities. Notice each improvement and acknowledge how aligned self-talk has shifted perception and experience. What once was rare becomes ordinary. What seemed impossible becomes routine. The power of words, applied with intention, turns the mind into fertile ground for spiritual abundance. Money is often mistaken for mere physical currency, but at its core it is spiritual energy in circulation. Each bill or coin is a tangible symbol of invisible laws at play: exchange, gratitude, and divine supply. Money flows where it is respected, appreciated, and allowed to move, much like water keeps a stream alive when it is not dammed or hoarded. Treating money as energy means regarding it with love, not fear. Withholding out of anxiety signals a lack of trust in the spiritual source of abundance. In contrast, using wealth flow spiritual law, circulate money joyfully, giving, receiving, and investing with a sense of purpose and plenty. The more energy is set in motion, the more it returns multiplied and refreshed. Release the notion that wealth is finite. True prosperity comes from knowing that spiritual self-talk for wealth is about aligning with infinite supply, not fighting over scraps. Declare, "This money is a channel of good for myself and others," and the energy expands. Metaphysical prosperity secrets teach that generosity is never a loss, but the opening of greater reward. Watch how financial circumstances change with thought and intention. See how gratitude, giving, and positive self-talk combine to keep money's energy in motion. This approach dissolves the walls of scarcity and summons a new reality, where wealth ceases to be a chase and becomes a natural state, an ever-flowing stream, refreshed by the purity of consciousness. True abundance is never one-dimensional. The perfect square of a fulfilling life rests on 4 equal sides: wealth, health, love, and self-expression. Imbalance in any area causes stress and dissatisfaction, no matter how much money is held. The same principles of spiritual self-talk for wealth apply to each side of this square, for all are shaped by the words chosen each day. Speak health into the body, and vigor follows. Affirm love in relationships, and harmony arises. Declare self-worth and creativity, and new doors of self-expression open wide. Positive money script is only 1/4 of the whole. Wholeness demands mindful attention to all 4 pillars. Each word spoken about health, love, and creative work is as powerful for well-being as any affirmation of financial prosperity. Those who focus solely on money may find it elusive or unsatisfying. Real satisfaction grows where balance is maintained and every side is honored. Speak abundance for all areas, not just the bank account. Say, "I experience harmony in finances, health, love, and purpose." Wealth flow spiritual law functions best when the life square is strong on each side. Allow balance to become the guiding principle. Watch how prosperity increases not just in dollars but in joy, friendship, vitality, and inspiration. In this way, spiritual abundance is no longer confined to one area but becomes the heartbeat of a complete joyful life. Wealth flows from an invisible reservoir, a source beyond jobs, markets, or physical effort. This unseen supply responds to the laws of gratitude, faith, and imagination. Thoughts of lack block the channel. Thoughts of sufficiency open the valve. Spiritual self-talk for wealth acknowledges this invisible source and confidently calls upon it, trusting that the supply never runs dry. Start with gratitude. Give thanks for what is already present, however small. Gratitude multiplies good. Shifting focus from need to sufficiency, say thank you for the unseen supply that meets every need. The heart that feels rich, regardless of current appearance, draws more to itself. Gratitude is the magnet that pulls invisible riches into material form. Imagination plays an essential role in this process. Picture needs to be met with ease. Visualize solutions arriving on waves of opportunity. Each scene imagined joins with affirmations of abundance, sending a clear signal to the invisible bank. Spiritual abundance will respond to gratitude and vision far more quickly than to worry or complaint. Act on intuition and inspiration. When inner guidance suggests a step, follow with trust. These actions become the bridge over which the invisible supply travels to material reality. In this way, seeking divine supply through spiritual law transforms both the path and destination of every financial journey. Every mind contains areas hidden in shadow, old fears, beliefs, and inherited limitations that shape reality from within. Often, money blocks are not deliberate reflections, but unconscious scripts running quietly in the background. I am not worthy, or wealth belongs to others, may operate unseen, silently controlling financial experience. The method to shift these blocks begins with conscious self-inquiry. Listen with gentle honesty to the statements made in private thought. When a negative belief arises, pause and hold it without judgment. Speak a new statement in its place, such as, "All good is my birthright," or "I release every belief in scarcity." Repetition of these positive money scripts rewrites the patterns governing experience. Working with money manifestation, affirmations is not about force, but consistent, loving attention. Speak to the hidden parts of the self with patience and trust. Over time, the subconscious accepts these new truths as familiar, and the old stories of deprivation lose their grip. Spiritual self-talk for wealth brings unconscious patterns into the light where they can be gently transformed. Notice the change in feeling and experience. Where tension and struggle once existed, ease and possibility begin to show. The outer world always resounds with the music set in motion within. By healing inner dialogue, the outer experience shifts, sometimes subtly, often profoundly. Each step, no matter how small, brings greater freedom to receive and enjoy abundance. Clinging tightly to money, outcomes, or specific desires creates energetic blockages that slow or even halt the natural flow of prosperity. Non-resistance is the practice of letting go, physically, mentally, and emotionally, so wealth may circulate freely. It is an essential spiritual law, one often overlooked in discussions of abundance. Release the need to control every detail, outcomes, timing, and the exact path by which prosperity arrives. State clarity of desire with positive self-talk, then surrender any anxiety about how or when it will come. I trust the process. I welcome abundance by divine right. This form of spiritual self-talk for wealth reopens blocked channels and allows money to return. Non-resistance does not mean passivity or inaction. Instead, it is a state of receptive openness, where inspired steps are taken without grasping or fear. Every gesture of faith, giving generously, trusting intuition, releasing debts, invites greater wealth flow. Money moves toward those who trust its movement, not those who seize it with anxious hands. Observe the relief and expansion that follow a true act of surrender. Financial opportunities may arise unexpectedly, relationships may heal, and burdens may lift. The wealth that seemed elusive before arrives in surprising ways. Non-resistance amplifies the effect of every affirmation, making the spiritual law of prosperity active and alive. Fear is often the greatest adversary to the experience of prosperity. It whispers doubt, undermines confidence, and clouds the vision for the future. Yet faith is a light more powerful than any shadow. It can rewrite storylines, dispel illusion, and call forth abundance. The primary tool in this spiritual defense is self-talk shaped by faith. When anxiety about money or the future arises, respond with a declaration of truth. I am always cared for, and every need is met. These statements are not mere positive thinking, but active agents of protection, Repeated statements of faith shield the mind against collective fears of scarcity and economic instability. A strong positive money script creates a fortress that external events cannot easily penetrate. Speaking words of trust, even when faced with uncertainty, increases their power. Faith grows stronger in the silence, in moments when evidence has not yet arrived. I walk in certainty. My path is guided by infinite wisdom. Each sentence planted in faith blossoms into experience, often against all odds. Fear melts when confronted with the conviction of spiritual law at work. Live with assurance that every new day brings fresh channels and opportunities. Practice unwavering affirmation of divine provision, especially when evidence falters. Through this discipline, the inner world becomes a wellspring of peace, immune to outer fluctuations. In such an atmosphere, prosperity not only survives but thrives. Resentment and unforgiveness act as invisible shackles, silently anchoring abundance out of reach. Every emotional debt, every wound left unhealed, becomes a weight carried into each act of creation, especially where money is concerned. Forgiveness unlocks this bind, restoring freedom and the capacity to receive. Begin by acknowledging any grudges, especially those tied to financial harm, betrayals, debts, losses. Sit quietly and offer inner release. I set you free and claim my freedom. Repeat this practice as often as old memories arise, replacing each story of pain with the possibility of new good. Forgiveness, practiced as a form of spiritual self-talk for wealth, opens blocked channels and clears the way for financial blessing. Extend forgiveness inward as well. Speak gently to the parts of yourself that harbor regret or guilt over past financial choices. I forgive myself and open to greater wisdom. Self-forgiveness is the corridor by which grace enters. It transforms shame into strength and releases the creative powers that were tangled in self-recrimination. Notice how this healing changes the flow of life. Where heaviness reigned, lightness returns. Where opportunities felt stuck, motion resumes. Forgiveness is among the rarest metaphysical prosperity secrets, a practice that multiplies wealth not only in material form but through joy, peace, and release from the past. Sometimes the invisible becomes real when paired with simple physical action. Take a sum of money, place it in your hand, and pause. Feel its texture, the weight, the energy it holds. In this quiet moment, speak a sacred affirmation. I am an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to me by divine right. Let every word resonate through your being. Holding cash while speaking ignites faith tangibly. Money as energy responds to reverent attention, gratitude, and blessing. Instead of worrying over its amount, acknowledge what it represents, a channel for good, a symbol of the infinite source behind it. Speak to it kindly, expressing appreciation and trust in the supply from which it flows. This ritual shifts the relationship with money from fear to joy, from scarcity to flow. It reinforces the principle that self-talk governs all channels, visible and invisible. The mind accepts abundance as a present reality, not a distant dream. The practice need not be lengthy, only intentional and sincere. Repeat this affirmation often, especially in moments of doubt or gratitude. Over weeks, watch how perception, experience, and expectation all move toward harmony with the words spoken. This simple physical act aligns hand, heart, and mind as channels for spiritual abundance. Affirmations lose their power when directed toward some distant future. The key is to claim abundance in the present moment, to speak in the language of receiving. Say, I am wealthy. I have all the supplies I need. This present tense affirmation anchors the mind in the truth of already existing abundance, allowing it to manifest sooner and more fully. Living in the present breaks the habit of endless waiting. While desire is natural, postponing fulfillment keeps it perpetually just out of reach. Claiming wealth now through thought, feeling, and self-talk draws the result into active life. This moment is the door to all richness. Repeat this phrase often, infusing the present with expectancy. Act in ways that reflect prosperity already here. Give generously, invest wisely, and treat current resources with respect and stewardship. These actions reinforce the spoken word and signal trust in the spiritual process. The world responds to such confidence with open pathways and increased flow. Each day offers fresh proof of this law in operation. Notice small signs of supply, however modest. Acknowledge their arrival with gratitude, and use self-talk to expand their presence. Over time, the habit of present-focused affirmation cultivates a steady stream of well-being, a life where wealth is not chased, but welcomed home. A new story is available for anyone willing to speak it. The power rests not in external circumstances, but in the quiet conviction of self-talk, the words chosen in private moments, the beliefs held unswervingly amid doubt. This is the foundation for overflow, the platform on which real wealth is built. Adopt a narrative that honors possibility above limitation, faith above fear. Replace every inherited script of struggle with affirmations of abundance, sufficiency, and joy. Speak softly, but speak with certainty. The world rearranges itself each time a new phrase is planted. I am worthy of all good. Abundance is my song. These are not mere wishes, but orders given to the deepest part of the self and the divine supply. Transformation is neither instantaneous nor always dramatic, but it is sure and steady. Through dedication to positive self-talk, every aspect of life begins to reflect the inner change. Money arrives in expected and unexpected ways. Opportunities blossom, burdens lighten, hope glimmers bright again. This is the way of wealth flow, spiritual law, gentle, persistent, and inevitable. The invitation is to begin today, writing a new chapter with every word, not as a means to force reality, but as an act of creative partnership with spirit itself. With every affirmation, the gates of prosperity swing a little wider, welcoming abundance, not as a stranger, but as a long-awaited friend.